Okay, and welcome to the very first episode of Become Your Own Hero, where I teach you how to turn that villain inside us all and in you into a superpower. Now, what is that villain? Those are the beliefs, the values, the things that were pushed upon us at a very young age from parents, family, friends, religion, school, government, media, wherever it is in the world, that one day you realized that there's two of you. There's the real you and the part of you that was designed. It just doesn't feel good right now, right here in this moment. And so I want to welcome you. We're going to go on a journey of self-discovery where we can allow room for new beliefs that will empower us and embark on a new journey of fulfillment, success, wealth, creativity, and where you and I can both make a difference in this world by becoming our own heroes and being a hero in the minds of those around us. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Sam Spatero and I welcome you. Please hit the like, subscribe button, and notification bell as we welcome you into this community. And as you can notice, I'm new to YouTube, and I want to give you a little bit of a narrative of my background. I am 43 years old. I live in Toronto, Ontario. That's in Canada for those of you who don't know that. And I have two businesses, three beautiful children, an amazing wife. And I've always been on a journey of self-exploration in life. But like all of us, we always hit that fork in the road, where we feel like we hit that pivotal point where we can go in completely two different directions. And for a lot of us, we don't know why. For a lot of us, we don't know what to do. And for some of us, we might not know how to continue to keep moving forward. And so we get stuck on ourselves. And that's when it's very critical in life. And for me, that was 8 years ago when I lost my best friend. And I was having another child. And I just started a new business venture. And I started to experience crazy amount of anxiety, which then led to anxiety attacks and panic attacks, and a really big struggle for years with mental health. I lost tons of weight. My body was off. I was always nervous. I couldn't go into social settings anymore. I was barely functioning as an entrepreneur, as a husband, as a father, as a family member, and in my community. And so for 3 years, I had some pretty dark moments. And until one day where I had this conversation with myself and I said, why am I going through this? Why me? I think I'm a good person. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I try to do good in the world. And this voice in my head said, you have to become your own hero. And that was a pivotal point for me because maybe you're there right now and you're really having a lot of uncertainty as to why you're going through what you're going through. And it was at that point, in that moment in my life, where I decided that everything that I was going through wasn't for me. It was to help someone one day who was experiencing the same struggles, and I could share the strategies, the ideas, the things that I embrace to get myself through this dark point in my life. And I remember doing a program called DARE from Barry McDonough, who is a specialist in this area. And a quote stuck with me. And the quote was this: "It's always darkest before dawn." And so for me, that's when my journey began. I decided to believe, like anybody else in life that decides to embark on a new journey, whether it's to start a new business, to get into a relationship, to maybe make a career change, to have children, maybe you want to, be an Olympian, whatever it is, we all have these sticking points in our lives where we're fueled with a lot of struggles that kind of go within, but we start to focus on the pain of what that journey might look like. And so I want to shed some light on how I ended up where I am, doing what I do. And if you're watching this, maybe this will help fuel you to the other side and make sense of your experiences, why you're struggling, and what you can do from here. And so something that I want to start off with at that very point when I had that pivotal experience was I decided that I needed to build internal strength. As we're children, we all have different experiences. But as we progress through life and become adults, that's when we really kind of notice where we're at with our self-talk, our self-esteem, our beliefs, the things that we value, our bodies, and the way we view the world and problems and struggles. And so for me, it was a rebranding of myself, how I viewed what I was experiencing, what it meant, what it was going to look like in the future, and how I would use it as fuel to push me towards more purpose and meaning to my life, and to ultimately me living my passions, which is doing what I'm doing today. And so if there's one tip I want to share with you right now, and this is the most pivotal point before you start the journey. I'm sure a lot of you have tried doing many things to create success, change in your life, to get struck by a lot of resistance. And that's just the villain in you. Those old beliefs that aren't supporting, the noise in the mind, the negativity. And what you really need to do for the very first thing you need to do is you need to get specific on your why. And you hear this with so many successful people in life, your why, your why, your why. And I can tell you that that is the thing that fuels you before you take action. Because along the way, you're going to hit a lot of resistance. Along the way, you're going to experience a lot of pain and struggles. But your why will fuel you through it all. And so for me, my why was that if I could get through this with the tools and instruments that God gave me, the earth gave me, the universe, whatever your beliefs are, that if I could work on strengthening myself within and also strengthen my body and do this with the things that the earth has gave us and God has gave us and the universe has gave us, and then only then can I be my own hero and be superhuman. Because a lot of the times, if you look at the majority of us, what do you do when you hit a rough part of the road? What do you do when you hit a sticking point in your life? What are the things that you go to? And the majority of us, we go to alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, maybe fighting. And from an emotional standpoint, maybe we go to anger and resentment. You see, the majority of us choose these things out of convenience because it's called normalcy. That is what the majority of people do. But that is also the reason why I want you to understand that the majority of people aren't truly successful, and that the majority of the people aren't living their dreams. And that's why the majority of the people live life in misery and regret. And so I want to get very clear on this. The very first thing that you need to do right here, right now, is I want you to get very clear and specific on your why. And maybe take the time right now, pause this video, and write down what is the one thing that I need to create in my mind, a belief, a purpose, a new mission statement that's going to fuel me with taking on this challenge or obstacle that's in my way. Maybe this new opportunity, whatever it is. Get really clear on your why. Okay. And now that you've done that, now we got to go to step 2, and that's strategy. So after you get clear on your why, we have to discuss what the strategy is going to be. And so for me, when I was going through all that turmoil with anxiety and panic attacks, like I literally woke up every day for 3 years experiencing anxiety and a panic attack. Like I was lost. But one thing that I did after I had that revelation is I started to develop very clear and specific strategies of what I was going to do when I experienced that, how I was going to wake up, what I was going to eat during the day, the things that I could do with my body that would strengthen me. And ultimately, how did I want to give back? How did I want to contribute every day that would bring so much more purpose and meaning to what I was going through? And so that is the strategy. So the strategy for me was, when I woke up, I was going to focus on gratitude. I was going to focus on the gratitude that I was going to experience throughout the day, even though anxiety would be present. And for me, I'll share with you some things that, some beliefs that I created, that if anxiety showed up, it was going to give me the opportunity to create a really good relationship in the way I treat and talk to myself. That if anxiety was going to show up, it was going to give me the opportunity to develop internal strength that would fuel me through any challenge or obstacle that I would face later on in my life, and that would ultimately help those that I love and care about around me. Another thing that it was going to do was it was going to help me to sculpt my body, because when you're in that state, when you're in that experience, working out and doing something physical is a great way to release all that built up tension and energy, which ultimately will have a great effect on my overall well-being and my mind. And most of all, as I would experience anxiety, I knew and I developed this belief that it would push me to be more in my businesses, in my family, as a husband, as a father, as a son, as a brother, and as a member of this beautiful world. And so that was strategy for me. And maybe for you, it's something completely different. Maybe you want to lose weight and you need to get really clear on your why. You know, how will it make you feel? What are things that you can be able to do right now that you can't do today? Who will you motivate? Who's watching you? How will it impact them? Maybe you're in a relationship and you've hit a plateau. What is your why for wanting to take on something new to bring a lot more love and connection and adventure in your relationship? What are the things that you can do specifically? Maybe you can give understanding at a time where you don't understand. Maybe you can grant forgiveness at a time where it doesn't seem possible. Maybe you can bring fun and adventure at a time where you might be tired. Whatever it is that you want to embark on, make sure you get clear on your why, and now we're getting clear on the specifics, which are your strategies. And then the third thing that I want you to do is develop a core relationship between the body and the mind, and that is your action plan, your goals. And so what are you going to do when you wake up? So it's very clear and specific that what I knew for myself is that I needed to write down goals every day of things that I would do that would make me feel very purposeful to my why. And so I would create an action plan, a goal plan, which would be, today I'm going to go out in search of creating anxiety. But my code word was adventure and growth. I'm going to work out every day as it sculpts discipline that I can bring into my life to create more success and freedom. Today, I am going to drink and eat healthy all day, as this is an important component to building an engine, a heart, a mind, a body that will push me forward the next time I experience a challenge, or maybe someone that will be, and I can be there for them and myself. And so if there's ever a time today in 2020, with all the craziness that is going on in this world, there's never a better time in your life to become your own hero. That means that you aren't afraid to think for yourself. That means that you aren't afraid to be who you are at the core in your heart and your mind. That means that you're willing to leave everything behind today, even if it means dying in the process. We must not die while we're alive. You must live the life that is worth living. And that means no fear, no expectations, no periods, just commas. And go out there today and become your own hero. And together we can sculpt more minds, more spirits, more bodies, more souls. So that we can spread the truth. And that is that we are individuals free to be who we want to be, when we want to be, to think what we want and be what we want. And today especially, there's never a better time to do this. If you look around you, there are many, many areas around the world where people are placing periods all around us. And today we need to fight. Fight for our freedoms. Fight for the right to think and be who and what we are. And so I want to end on that. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment below. And please hit the subscribe button. I'd love for you to be a member of this community. My goal, my vision, my purpose in my life is to be the biggest mental health advocate on the planet. And I could use your help and support in doing that. And maybe you would mind giving this a share and a thumbs up. And like I always tell my kids before they sleep, and I end every video, if you are gonna dream today, you better effing make sure that you dream big. And make sure that you always keep smiling.